over there from
Very
Saga.
good over indeed. Some 3 runs coming in that over. And at the end of over number 10, 97, so 9.7 runs and over, 10 overs to go. I think that the Windwards would want to look somewhere between 175, 180, possibly 200.
Well, as I said early on, this looks like a 200-plus ground. Based on the size, the outfield is quite lush, and the conditions are ripe for exciting cricket here at Park Hill, and we'll anticipate that the Windward Islands will try to get as close as possible to that 200-run total, Charlo. Meantime, of course, preparations continue here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the hosting of 5 World Cup games. You notice that the light towers are going up at Arnold'sville.
Yes, they are, and going up at a pace as well. So we have all the assurance that everything will be in place come the 13th of June.
August is bold, and that, for me, was simply giving his wicket away. Head in the air, played all over it.
Swing at it, lost his middle stump. And the Windwards really, from a very good position of 84 for 1, find themselves now 97 for 4.
And really a careless shot there from Auguste. Was looking to hike. Really a careless shot there from Auguste. Was looking to hike. In the air, played all over it, and lost his off stump in the process. Into over number 11 as Irie will continue the attack. So it's Douglas, the new batter, in for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. Irie goes to Douglas, and Douglas works that one into that gully area. Was racing off of that single that certainly was not there. Sent back by Descartes, and Windward Islands remain at 97 for the loss of 4. These two will need to stick around for some time. This delivery forces Douglas back, but he punches nicely down to that long on position. He's off the mark and scores on to 98 now for the loss of 4. And we have certainly 1 or 2 spectators from surrounding areas, and as we continue to expect to see more. This one is as the batsman Descartes coming forward, just punching it into the offside. Irie fielding to his own bowling. Total remains at 98 for the loss of 4. Outside the off stump and forced into the offside. Cover fielder in Karan picked it up and got that to return quickly back into Asif, the wicketkeeper. So it's 99, and this is the th over. And this one is forced wide. You're going to get very close to that square boundary, and 4 well-taken runs there from Descartes. I haven't seen a boundary for the last 10 balls thereabouts. And they're bringing the 100 up for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. They're now 103 for the loss of 4. Lost their captain very early, and then there was that Nice partnership from Auguste and Captain Hodge, who unfortunately ran himself out. And since then, we had a couple of quick wickets. And these two in Descartes and Dylan Douglas will certainly have to look to rebuild here for the Windward Island Volcanoes. As we see Rohit Kumar from the southern end to take up the attack. This time we'll be bowling to Dylan Douglas. Douglas plays a nice flowing drive. Fielder comes off at deep mid-wicket boundary, and 1 run in the process. 104 for the loss of 4. Descartes has already shown that he wants to get things going for the Windward Island Volcanoes. And that ball signaled there by the umpire. Certainly will have to re-bowl this one. Rohit. Descartes is working it nicely into the offside. Fielder from that point position comes in. And there's just one more added to the total. So following this game here today, there will be another on Thursday, then on Saturday, as Rohit this time wraps the batsman on his pads, but they've got to sneak a quick single there, and total now to 106 for the loss of 4 wickets. But just making the point that the team Nepal preparing for Cricket World Cup 2024, the T20 World Cup, and following today's game, there will be another on Thursday. And certainly on Saturday, right here at this lovely Park Hill playing field. And Rohit this time will come into bowl to Dylan Douglas. And Douglas was looking to bang that one square up the wicket. Played under, rather than on top of it. And it was into the gloves of the wicketkeeper. Total remains at 106 for the loss of 4. This time gets the bat onto it, and field on that deep mid-wicket boundaries asked to come in. 1 more run added in the process, and the total is now up to 108. 108 for the loss of 4. Descartes works it into that short mid-wicket position, and good work there from Rohit, fielding to his own bowling, and couldn't prevent the single nonetheless, but created a bit of an anxious moment there for the two in the middle for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. Total is on to 109 for the loss of 4 in wicket. We're in over number 12, and worked into the offside, and striking the umpire there on that right heel of his. He's limping a bit. In the process, 1 more added to the score for the Windward Island Volcanoes. The end of a fairly decent over there from Rohit. And it's 110 now for the loss of 4 wickets. 110 for the loss of 4, the Windward Island Volcanoes. So yet another change for this Nepal bowling attack from the northern end. We have Sagar Dakal. He had a couple overs from the southern end and been switched to the northern end. As Dylan Douglas will take strike. Just some changes taking place in the field And Sagar Dakal will now come into bowl to Douglas. Douglas plays this one. One bounce to the field in that deep backward square position, and single taken in the process. 111 for the loss of 4. Old Nelson on the scoreboard here for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. And this time, Descartes is going to face his Saga bowls and work nicely. And picking up a single in the process. Somebody's upstairs. It's not you. All right, okay. His deliveries worked into that gully position, and no run resulting. Douglas settling over his batters. Sagar Dakal comes in, and this one attempted to work it off his pads. I don't believe he got a touch onto it. Let's wait for the signal from umpire Butler. Yes, one leg by. And one more to the total. It's 113 for the loss of 4. We're into the 13th over. And scoring rate is certainly slowed up for this Windward Islands outfit. Sagar Dakar comes in and bowls this time to Descartes. He punches down to deep, long on, and just one more to the total. Showing some aggression there, all along the carpet here at the Parkhill playing field. But the fielder was always in place, and just one run resulting. No run available there, and threw was quickly and missed the stumps. And that's the end of a very good over there from Sagar Dakar. The Windward Island Volcanoes, after 13 overs, they are 114 for the loss. 114 for the loss of 4 wickets. And the run rate is now at 8.76 per over. At one time they were at 11 runs per over, so the Nepal attack doing some repair work here at this point in time, and pulling back the early advances made by this Windward Island Volcanoes team. Here is Douglas working this one off his pads and into that short square position, and one more added to the total. It's now 115 for the loss of 4. Bowler from the southern end is Irie, Dependra Singh Irie. This time we'll be bowling to Descartes, as just a few adjustments being made to the field. And Irie now to Descartes, and he drives down to long on. One more added to the total. 116 now for the loss of 4. And would have gotten a little bit of a bat, I believe, onto this one. Let's see the signal. And none coming from the umpire, so one more added to the Volcanoes total. Irie comes in and bowls to Dylan Douglas, and Douglas was looking to hoit this somewhere over mid-wicket. Didn't really get much bat onto ball, but did enough to get that single, and it's now up to 119 for the loss of 4. 119 for 4. And this is going to get very close to that mid-wicket position. Sampal comes around, and well, unfortunate there, but in the end, no additional run. That one just stayed into the pitch area. Didn't get up there for Irie to collect. Quite unfortunate. But luckily there was that backup fielder to prevent any further addition to the total. It's 119 for the loss of 4. And this one is down to long on. And the Nepal fielding has been not the best. We've seen there was that one drop chance early off Kavem Hodge, and there's certainly been 1 or 2 misses in the field. As that was the end of over number 14. It's 120 for the loss of 4. And with some 6 overs remaining, some 36 balls to come, the Wooden Island Volcanoes, especially these 2 at the crease, will be looking to up the tempo going forward. Maybe looking at a total of about 175, 180 at one point in time. 200 is pretty much on the cards. And still cannot be written off here at Park Hill. It's a fairly small ground by international standards. And still have 1 or 2 big hitters to come for the Volcanoes in the hutch. As we're now going to get some pace from the northern end. Karan looked fairly decent. He's certainly would have had his moments in his opening 2 overs. This time he'll come into bowl to Dylan Douglas, and the delivery that he pulls nicely. It's going to get fairly close, and good work down there by Jora, preventing any further addition. Just 1 more.
छक्का यो शानदार छक्का र बल रेखा भन्दा पनि बाहिर वाल भन्दा पनि बाहिर
as Descartes just taking guard once again. Looks like a middle stump guard, and Karan prepares to come in a few steps and then breaks into a stride.
यो बललाई बाउन्सर राखिएको छ बाउन्सर डेलिभरी रहेको थियो लेग स्टम्पमा राखिएको ब्याट्सम्यानले लिप गरिदियो ब्याट्सम्यान
That's gonna look for some bananas that are close by, and big lusty blow there from Descartes, taking the total now up to 127 for the loss of 4. So that was a huge hit, and that was 6 on any ground. I can say that. Descartes putting a lot of muscle into that one. And there's now that search on for the ball. It's now being returned. And that came straight out of a banana field that is close by here at the Park Hill playing field. 127 for 4. So there's Karan. A delivery that is outside the off stump. It had some height in it. Batsman was looking there at the umpire for. Now we see the signal coming. So 1 shot for the over. And Karan, after being struck for 6, deciding that He's going to hit the deck and hit it very hard as the Scarty settles. He runs in now. And the delivery outside the off stump, pulled to the onside. Thinking about the second run. It certainly was not there. Wickets disturbed in the process, but bat was firmly planted. And total goes on now to 128 for the loss of 4. And it's the 15th over. So this time it's going to be Dylan Douglas facing up. Douglas drives, lovely. It's going to get close to that cover boundary position, and the fielder gets around just in time. And 2 runs added to the total. It's now 130 for the loss of 4. But a nice flowing off drive there from Dylan Douglas. And Windward Island Volcanoes. And this is the 15th over, 130. Karan. And Douglas plays this one, finds a short, fine leg position. And fielder well placed, preventing any addition to the total. That's the end of the over. So at the end of the 15th over, the Windward Island Volcanoes batting first here at the Park Hill playing field in this practice game for the Nepal team as they prepare for Cricket World Cup 2024. They are 130 for the loss of 4, 130 for the loss of 4 after 15. A scoring rate of 8.7 runs per over. So, Sampal Kami, this time from the southern end, to bowl to Descartes. Descartes hugs this one, he's going to be out caught, yes. So, there's Descartes hiking that one, and a simple catch there to Karan. The Windward Island Volcanoes losing their 5th wicket. It's now 130 for the loss of 5. And certainly, Descartes must be a bit disappointed in that shot. Maybe was looking for that gap between coming in, and Windward Island Volcanoes in the process losing their 5th wickets. So being pushed back a bit, the Volcanoes, as a new batsman comes to the crease. Darren Ned, a new batter, takes his guard, and Sampal Kami picking up a wicket in this 16th over. We're now coming to bowl to Ned, and aborted his run as there were still some instructions being given. And we'll now bowl, and Ned edged this one straight into the glove of the wicketkeeper. Wicket number 6, well taken there by Mohammed Asif. And Darren Ned getting the golden duck here at Park Hill. And the Volcanoes are now 130 for 6. And let's hope that it doesn't all fall away for the Volcanoes. But he was forced back, and that bat was left hanging outside the off stump, took the outside edge. And wicketkeeper Muhammad Asif Sheikh made absolutely no mistake, ensuring that that one was neatly pouched in that glove of his. And 130 now for the loss of 6. So Kami now on a hat trick. So new batsman coming to the crease. There is Larry Edwards. And no helmet as Sammy. That's Kami, sorry. Sampal. I believe I actually had the ball incorrect. Is the captain Rohit comes in and bowls to Larry Edwards, and Edwards avoids the hat trick. And very enthusiastic Rohit picked up in that area and tossed it back quickly there to wicketkeeper Mohammed Asif. So Rohit Kumar Podel, the Nepal captain, comes in and bowls to Larry Edwards, and Edwards is in defense this time, working it back up on the offside, and picked up there by. And the brakes are certainly on by Team Nepal. As Rohit now passes umpire, bowls to Larry Edward, and Edward just can only find that short mid-wicket position. That's the end of a very good over from the captain. An over in which he picked up 2 wickets and keeping the Windward Islands in this, after 16 overs, I beg your pardon, at 130 for the loss of 6. And Nepal certainly avoiding a late onslaught from the Windward Islands Volcanoes as we welcome back the sunshine here to the Park Hill playing field. Had a bit of a cloud cover for most of the morning, but it's almost blue skies here. There's just 1 or 2 clouds hanging here and there, as now we see both players going back to their helmet. Douglas, it is going to face this delivery and pulls at 6 runs. 6 runs there to Dylan Douglas. Total advance is now to 136 with a loss of 6. So Sampal Kami, the ball to Dylan Douglas, and Douglas is getting a one right up in the block hole and just drops it short, and they'll come back for the second very quickly. Throw comes in and it's the run out. Let's see the signal. And umpire Butler doesn't seem too interested. For a moment I thought he was gone, but a good throw coming in there from Karan, racing off the boundary and trying to first and foremost avoid the second and picking up the wicket. It didn't happen. 2 more added to the total, now 138 for the loss of 6. So Douglas is now up to 23 as bowler comes in now, and this delivery finds a player coming off of that deep square leg position, and it's 1 more to the total. 139 now for the loss of 6. Douglas is on to 24, and the new batter in Larry Edwards taking guard. As you might have picked it up in our microphone, some chattering and instructions going around from a Nepalese fielder. And Kami forced to break his run there. He's going to go back to the top of his mark. And will now come into bowl to Douglas. Delivery that is high, straight back over the bowler's head. And that's 6 more. Almost striking all of the spectators under the coconut trees there at the northern end. Close to that scoreboard. It's 150. Make that 146, I should say, for the loss of a 6. But good shot there from Douglas. And he advances to 30. Sampal. Delivery, and it's pulled. And it's going to get it way close to the fence. And just pulled back there by Karan. 2 runs added in the process. It's now on to 148 for the loss of 6. So, good comeback over there for the Windward Island Volcanoes. And with 3 more to go at 148 for 6, they might very well still be fancying a total of 175. To put some challenge here for this Nepal team. As Captain Rohit picked up 2 wickets in his previous over, and would certainly like for such to happen, or even better things. This over from the southern end here at the Park Hill playing field. So Larry Edward, he's on 8, and Rohit. This one is he bowled? It will appear that such is the case, yes. Had a swing at it and clipped that bail there, and Edward bowled behind his back. And Rohit, just like he started his previous over, getting the wicket on his very first ball. The Volcanoes are 148 for the loss of 7. As Asif Hooper will now come to the wicket. The bearded Asif Hooper. And pretty much a player who knows the conditions here at Park Hill, Asif Hooper. Is from the northern end of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. From the North Windward constituency, as we call it. And a player who can certainly muscle his way around. He's shown his exploits in the local VPL here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but also done it in 1 or 2 other Windward Islands. And was a T10 tournament in Tobago that Asif Hooper also excelled. So brings a lot to the table here. And would really like to ensure that the Volcanoes post as much as possible on the board. As Rohit comes in out to bowl to Asif Hooper. Hooper works this one off his legs, and the fielder couldn't prevent that single. It's on to 149 now for the loss of 7. Asif Hooper immediately off the mark. Douglas is still very much there. He's on 32. Kabem Hodge contributed 38. As this one, he hikes straight. And it's into Another banana patch here from Dylan Douglas. The 150 is up on the board for the Windward Islands. They're now 155 for the loss of 7 wickets. So, despite the fact that there's that continued loss of wickets, Shrubbed, we see Douglas still trying to motor along. And apparently it appears as if that ball might not be retrieved. There's a fair amount of shrub at that end of the ground. Might be difficult to retrieve that ball at this point in time. Meantime, the reserve umpire brought out the box with balls. Still trying to retrieve. There's someone in the bushes ahead of us. Not yet on your screen, but efforts being made to retrieve that ball that has seen 17 plus overs. So it's 155 for the loss of 7. And following their stay here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Nepal, they'll go on to Texas, where they'll be playing a Houston 11 as they continue training, practicing for Cricket World Cup 2024 being hosted in the West Indies and the USA. Of course, St. Vincent and the Grenadines are preparing to host some 5 matches. And work is certainly moved along. Of light towers, extensive work done on the outfield, on the pitch itself. There have been some rehabilitation work to the pins, and certainly Allen'sville, which is a lovely cricket ground. It's a gem globally. Certainly will be in all its glory as St. Vincent and the Grenadines hosts 5 T20 World Cup games for 2024. And doesn't appear as if that ball has been retrieved, so there's been a change in ball in the 17th over as Douglas will now settle now as Rohit comes in. And outside the off stump, stayed along the turf for white signal there by the umpire, and they went through for a second. So 2 more added to the total. They should move on to 157 now for the loss of 7. 157 for 7. And Asif Hooper will now take strike. So the bearded Asif Hooper settles over his bat. And yet we see one of those, well, just a swapping of positions. As Captain Rohit now comes in out to bowl to Asif Hooper. Hooper is forced back, but in the process, 8 for 7. Is off for a very quick single. Just dropped it in front of him and immediately ran. And one added. It's 158. Douglas gets one wide outside 7. The off stump. No need to play. Signal a wide for 7 by the umpire. There's Rohit. Douglas gets one wide outside the off stump. No need to play. Signal a wide by the umpire. Rohit. And this one is Hoyt. High, hard, over the fence. And the 6 it is. Again, very close to that area. And for a moment, the fielder there on that long arm position appeared as if he would have caught something, but was just toying with the spectators here at Park Hill, because that was gone for another 6 off the bat of Dylan Douglas. And taking the total now up to 165 for the loss of 7. Douglas is on to 44, I believe. Yes, he's on to 44. And, well, they're still trying to retrieve that ball. So that's 2 balls off the bat of Dylan Douglas yet to be returned. And should be seeing the reserve umpire coming in soon with a replacement. So we're yet to. Well, the ball is actually now being returned. Now the question is, was that the first ball that was lost, or was it the replacement ball? I'm not in a position to say. The umpire will now have a look at it. And well, both balls are now back. So it's a question as to which ball will be used. And I believe they will resort to the original ball. That will appear to be the case. And Captain Rohit will continue the battle here for Nepal. 165 for 7 in this over number 18. As Dylan Douglas will prepare to take strike once again. Outside the off stump and another wide off the bowling of the Nepalese captain. Second wide of the over. Maybe being rattled a bit. Douglas hits this one high, hard, and the fielder's trying to get under it. Can't. And that's 6 more. So Rohit coming in for a bit of a rough treatment here. As signals with his bats. 50 on the board there for Dylan Douglas. And 172 now for the loss of 7. And with 2 overs after this one, there's still the possibility of a 200-plus score here by the Windward Islands Volcanoes, despite the fact that it appeared as if they would have lost their way in the middle. But with Dylan Douglas, who's in a no-nonsense mood, and Asif Hooper, who we know can power it, the possibility is still very much there. As now we see both batsmen getting their helmets. It's going to be Asif Hooper to face up. Sompal taking guard. And with these 2 overs left, we certainly might very well see further explosions from this Windward Island Volcanoes team as Sompal Kami breaks into his stride now on the bathing sunshine here at the Park Hill playing field. Comes in on balls to Asif Hooper. This one off the bat into the pad. Very importantly, they offer that very quick single. And one more to the total. It's 173 for the loss of 7. 173 for 7. Cricket in action here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A rural ground. A ground that was put in place some 10-plus years ago. It's really a beauty. It's nestled between the mountains in the back and the Atlantic Ocean. This one is a wild swing there from Douglas. And getting the bat onto the ball. Might have very well hurt himself in the process. Let's hope such is not the case. And I will go up and prods at the pitch as if to say, well, that was probably the pitch. But we in this commentary position know that's certainly not the case as Sompal races in. And this one is up in the air. Ball is trying to get the catch. He's under it and takes it. Lovely work there from Sompal. And Dylan Douglas losing his wicket in the process. Trying to certainly get as much on the board here for the Windward Island Volcanoes. Gone for 50. And it's now 150 for the, make that 173 for the loss of 8. Very important wicket of Dylan Douglas going down there for the Windward Island Volcanoes. So there you see Douglas making his way back in. And Sherman Lewis, the young Grenadian batter, more known for his exploits as a bowler. Sherman Lewis will join Asif Hooper at the wicket. And Sampal is back at the top of his mark. He's ready to continue. Lewis just taking his guard in the process. So Douglas really looking to get the charge on, and didn't get onto that one in the way in which he would have hoped to, and skied it, and the bowler taking the catch in the process. 173 for the loss of 8 to Windward Island Volcanoes. So here's Sampal Kami now to come into bowl to Lewis, and Lewis is looking to work one off his pads. It's down the leg side, and that's signal a wide there by umpire Butler. So one extra to the total. 174 now for the loss of 8. So Sherman Lewis. This one is looking to punch somewhere down to that long on position, and ricocheted off his pads. Found it into that fine leg position there. Looking for a third, which is not there. And total will go on now to 176 for the loss of 8. And this is the 19th over. One more to come after this. And no doubt these two at the wicket will like to get as close as possible to that 200-run mark. 190 might still very well be a decent total here at the Park Hill playing field, as Sampal will come in now to bowl to Lewis, and Lewis is fanning that one outside the off stump. Got no bat onto ball, and that's a dot delivery. Very important for the Nepal team. Total remains at 176 for the loss of 8. Sampal, as Lewis awaits this one and getting bat onto the ball. It's gonna go over the fence there for 6 more. And that's what the Windward Island Volcanoes need at this point in time. They're up to 182 now for the loss of 8. And that's the end of a spell there from Sampal.